Hello and welcome to the Special Moves podcast. This is episode 27, I think. My name is Mike Williams and these guys are Jake Kulkowski and Liam McKelvey.
Hiya.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, very
not
well,
bad.
thanks.
Playing some games this week?
Yeah. Games.
Cool.
Yeah. Same as always. We've played some games, but
It's my fault for asking a closed question, really. What games have you been playing this week?
Bloodborne and Apex Legends.
Tell me about the games you've been playing.
I'm
this
playing
week.
Bloodborne again. Well, I don't think anyone's going to gain anything from me talking about that.
Nah.
But
Yeah,
the reason,
take note, Jason Schreier.
The reason why, the reason why is because Sekiro's out in a couple of weeks, and so I just want to get myself like into that same mindset of
Nice.
accepting the punishment and death and stuff. And then also Apex Legends,
Yeah.
which is just the story of most people's life at the moment.
Bloodborne and Apex Legends,
I
what a
haven't played
holy
Anthem.
combination.
I've also been playing Anthem a bit, but
Okay.
not enough,
Yeah.
really.
It's really busy, though. It is really busy for games at the moment. I mean,
There really is.
March isn't probably... when you look at the whole month, there's a few big titles coming out. It doesn't feel like crazy, but just this exact week and the last sort of couple of weeks, I think Apex Legends being an underlining of,
February seems to be like the end of February was like that month of games to play with your friends. Anthem, Apex. The Division 2 beta has just been on, which I guess we'll talk about in a different video or something like that. But also, like a lot of games demand the same type of time from you.
Yeah, exactly. Every game wants to monopolise your time. That's even if it's a single-player Assassin's Creed game, it wants you to play it for like 700 hours or something. But then every game's a shared world shooter now, and
this is what I mean. There's two types of Jake time, and there's Jake time, and then there's Jake and his friends time, and they all want the Jake and his friends time. They all want me to text you guys saying, "Guys, do you want to play Anthem? Guys, do you want to play the Division? Or guys, do you want to play Apex Legends?" Whereas a single-player game, I don't need to get you guys involved at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're all competing for that. They we have time. Every night pretty much we've had time to play a couple of games of Apex Legends.
Yeah.
And they
Very digestible, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're all fighting for that slot.
Yeah.
They're all fighting for that slot in our schedules, aren't they? The get your mates on WhatsApp or whatever, and then say, "Hey guys, do you want to just jump on X for a bit?"
Yeah.
And it seems to be a lot of that. But March seems to be the month of big single player games. To be honest. There's quite a few coming out.
What have you been playing, Liam?
I've been playing a bit of Anthem. I actually managed to finish the main story in it. I haven't gone into any of the end game stuff.
How long did that take?
I don't actually know. I completely lost track of time.
Yeah.
I sort of had it. I was playing it with podcasts going off to the side.
Right.
I felt like I got through a lot of podcasts, so that could be quite a lot of time. I don't know.
It's really interesting that that's the first thing you say of your time with Anthem. I did get through a lot of... That's what the first bullet point was. I did get through a lot of podcasts.
It's like a Bermuda Triangle. I lost track of time and I listened to a lot of podcasts.
Okay, so have you got any overall sort of feelings about it?
But Anthem, it's sort of mixed to slightly positive. It's my overall
slightly
opinion.
positive.
So if that was a scale of 1 to 10,
that would
mixed
be a
slightly
6.
positive, it's about a 6.
Definite 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, what else have I been playing? Bit of Final Fantasy 9, been replaying that, loving it as much as I did way back in the day.
It's like the easiest, laziest port they could have done, and it's still nice to play. It's still really nice to play on the Switch.
Like seeing all the FMVs again, still
Yeah.
getting me, all the music, it's bringing back those nostalgic feelings. I'm loving it. And then a tiny bit of Soul Calibur 6 is the only other thing I've played, just because I bought it ages ago, and I still haven't got very far into it, because it's got quite a lot of single-player stuff in it. And that's been fun. That's been very fun. Yeah,
very cool. I mean, I've played a bit of The Occupation, which is... we'll have a video on that very soon. And I've been playing... I played a bit of Anthem with our patron Stu. I played a good sort of session. He gave me like a little guided tour, which I think helped, to get... because it's when you dive into yet another shared world shooter, it is good if someone's already... knows what they're doing and have been playing it for a while. It definitely did help. But I think it's going to take some warming for me. I think I'm going to have to keep playing it and see if I get into it. And I'm really going to be interested to see which route EA go down with this. If they go down the route of Andromeda, which is just cut and run, which is exactly what they did with Andromeda, and literally did cut jobs and shit. But do they do that, or do they double down on it like they did, like Ubisoft has done a great job with games in the past.
Activision have done it with Destiny as well, and that's very much the kind of thing that they're going for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that
very yeah.
So if they can do that, I can't remember what fanfare Destiny launched to. I remember, me and just Inner Circle being into it. Like, do you know what I mean? I can't remember.
I fucking love Destiny from the beginning. That's
what I mean.
Destiny had a good launch week, but people quickly burnt through all they had to offer at launch.
Yeah, whereas Anthem is like, people are just, the fundamentals seem to be struggling. Well, no, not the fundamentals of gameplay, but the fundamentals of the story. So, like, in fact, we talked about it in the podcast last week, and we said, listen, if you've played it, talk to us about it. If you've not, don't just start going on about it. So we were asking people who played it, and we heard a lot of people saying pretty much the same thing, right? And it was kind of, the gameplay's there, it's quite cool, there's a lot of potential, but the story isn't really. That's kind of what I gathered from the comments. Would you guys say that that's pretty much what?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. But I think when people really get down to the nitty gritty and get to having to make a review of if they're a critic and they have to say now, at launch, is it good or not? I can definitely see why it's been hammered by some people and why the Metacritic score is sort of where it is. But at the same time, I can see why someone would get something out of it, because there's a lot of comments like you're just saying that have got nice things to say about it and they're having a nice time with it. And I don't know quite where I fall, but it's pretty much closer to the reviews at the moment. I'm not saying that it's an absolute pile of wreckage, but it's
weird that people are...
It's a weaker offering than I would have liked.
Yeah. It's funny that a lot of the people who are kind of getting the most out of it are like just wanting a like mindless looter shooter. That's what I've been reading from them. People are saying if you forget about that, a lot of people are coming in with a certain expectation because BioWare are like part of it or whatever. The story's going to be not good but great, and people are saying that the story's not even good, or certainly some people are.
It's washed off me. Like, I just can't. The story so far is just been really weak. I think it's been really weak.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these like sort of just this radio chatter that isn't good. There's just a lot of the stories like people going, wow, I can't believe that's there, in like this really like thick Southeast England sort of accent. And like in just a really, and it's quite robotic, and it's quite I don't know.
For me, it's the sort of like very forced attempts at humour that are annoying me.
Yeah, absolutely
that.
Yeah, because
they're all trying to do like the Marvel movie.
And that's the exact problem, because you've got this stiff sort of delivery of the dialogue, and then they've tried to put that Robert Downey Jr. stuff in there. Of like quips and like hand gestures and shit, and it just doesn't it doesn't connect. And like the sci-fi universe is very
self-serious, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, very and sterile, and I don't know what it is about it. It's just I don't know.
A lot of people aren't talking about the Attack on Titan
absolutely
similarities. I don't think I've heard anyone talking about that, but I just if you know. But
aren't they literally called Titans?
I think they are actually
in it.
Like the first scene.
Liam, can you confirm? These big things that are like shooting the big.
I think they are. They're called like Ash Titans or something.
That's it. Yeah.
Right. Well, you put the word Ash in front of it and make it your own.
They are very, very big.
Yeah.
Quite capable of attacking a walled city.
Yeah.
It seems to have quite a lot of it. I can't help but think somebody, even if they've not admitted it, somebody working on the concept has watched Attack on Titan, because it was around the time that it came out that this game probably was getting conceptualized, because it was about 2 years after Attack on Titan came out in the West that the game got announced. That they've gone, I like that idea. It's kind of wild. If you know about Attack on Titan, you already know. But I saw like in our Patreon Discord, there was a conversation going on about specifically the Marvel humor.
Yeah.
And how it does seem to be like every conversation you have has to have at least one winky click bit.
And what,
if you know what I mean.
What I struggle with as well is that Mass Effect as a universe is just fantastic. If you like sci-fi, it is fantastic. It's really well thought out and rich, and it makes sense in a lot of ways, and it's delivered really well in a way that you can enjoy. But then this is like the decision to go first person when you're walking around the Fort Tarsis and stuff, and when that's one thing I don't like as well, is when the first person dialogue, when your character is talking and they're talking at someone, it just doesn't quite, unless you're BioShock Infinite, it doesn't I've not.
And even then,
yeah.
I think it's.
Please let the record show that Jake just done a face when I mentioned how good Bioshock Infinite was. It's.
Yeah, it's weird they make you pick an avatar as well, but you never actually see that avatar.
And what a selection of fine avatars.
Handsome boys, yeah.
They were very handsome Twinkie boys, right? I've got to say, they were a delectable selection for if you're like one type of man. If you don't, you're screwed, man. They all had immaculate haircut, very soft faces. Yeah. It was like going through Grindr.
Here's another.
Honest to God.
Here's another decision as well that you've got this binary left and right.
Yeah.
You're going to say it one way or the other. It seems to have no impact, really.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does only actually seem binary, like you say. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a full wheel.
But the specific instance right at the beginning where you choose if you want to be male or female, I had to process what it was asking me. I was like, are you asking me that if I want to be, or are you saying
is it
that
the voice in your suit or something like a Cortana?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what I thought.
Iron Man's got the butler fella.
It says like, does it say the voice of your suit or the voice in your suit?
Yeah,
but I think it means your voice from inside your suit.
I was looking at this very seemingly straightforward option going,
do you know what?
Am I being an idiot?
I didn't know if I was being a simple... do you know what? Yeah. Honestly, I thought that exact same thing. I thought, is that like it's like when you pick Siri. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I thought the suit was going to be doing a lot of talking or something. In terms of sales, apparently, it's the physical sales now of Anthem is half that of Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda itself, remember, not a runaway success.
Right. All that long ago, I suppose. Because if it was maybe Mass Effect 1, for example, you'd say, well, time's changed a lot, digital games, blah, blah. So there's that to consider, I suppose.
I mean, it's definitely playing a role, but is it accounting for half of the sales?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. We just don't know. But I would be surprised if it was.
Did we ever find out about the Mass Effect Andromeda sales? Because to be honest with you, I can imagine that they would be quite high because it is off the back of one of the
most sort of acclaimed trilogies.
Yeah, exactly. Certainly of the last 15 years, Mass Effect trilogy had. People have their gripes with the ending, but like you were saying earlier, you'd be hard pressed to argue that it was bad. Yeah. And people have got a very fond memories, and the name carries something. So even though Andromeda, we know what happened to it and stuff like that, and the reviews, but I can still imagine a lot of people buying it. So for a new IP to do half of an acclaimed IP is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Whether it was good or not, I can imagine that they were probably quite high. So, do you know what I mean? To me, that isn't that much of a surprise. People are talking about it like it's a big shock.
Yeah.
But if you think about it like that, if you think about it like...
New IPs tend not to sell as well anyway.
As well as something that's promising to be the new Mass Effect.
Yeah.
The trilogy, you know what I mean? It just, to me, is a no-brainer.
I think there are a few other factors as well, where when it's primarily an online game, I think sales do tend to skew even more towards... digital sales. I can certainly account for that with Destiny and things.
Yeah.
It just makes sense for me to get a digital copy because I'll just hop in and out all the time while I'm playing single player games. Anthem's a really interesting one to look back on in a few months and see where we are with it.
Yeah.
And I would love to see what the player numbers are like, if people have dropped off or if they're hanging around and getting something out of it. Because if the story, like you said, Liam, you haven't really enjoyed it that much.
No, the story, I wasn't expecting much from it to begin with.
Yeah.
And it somehow still disappointed me, the story.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I was saying overall to you guys. That I didn't have really high expectations based on what I'd played in the beta and whatever. And I still somehow, I've not played it enough to make a proper decision, but I still somehow feel like, I was hoping that I would just be grabbed by it. Mm-hmm. And I just haven't been.
I wonder if they're gonna. The thing I'm wondering about is if they're gonna do the Destiny thing of it is because I don't think this is a spoiler, but the ending is very incomplete, which is kind of shoo-in for another game. Are they going to make an Anthem 2, or will it be like Destiny 2 Forsaken or Taken King? Is it going to be a paid big expansion that carries on the story? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
If they are going to go in and double down on this and try and save it rather than cut a run like you were saying. If they are the two options, if they go in, what are they going to do? I mean, we've seen a very kind of short term season, not season pass. What's it called? Roadmap. Yeah. So I wonder what they're going to do. If for the big changes, if any, Interesting to see.
So. Yeah, that's Anthem. I'm sure we'll be talking about it again. I mean, it's
I'm going to keep plugging away at it because I'm playing like the Storm one, whatever, the mage guy. And it's pretty fun actually. You know what I mean? A lot better than the beta for me anyway.
I'm playing as the ranger, and I'm thinking maybe that's contributing to why I find it a little bit. Yeah. I like the the big rocket super thing that you get. It's like,
Big Hero 6
Iron Man, but
oh right, I thought you meant the big suit.
Yeah, it fires off like a little fireworks display for you, but. Yeah, otherwise, I don't know. This is the thing that I said to you guys as well, and this seems like so minor, but it actually is a very significant thing for me.
I know
that they haven't really got the third person shooting thing quite right for me. And a lot of people say, a lot of people are coming back with this all the time saying that's because it's not a shooter, it's an RPG. Well, there are an awful lot of guns and an awful lot of shooting in it. Okay, so if you're playing it as a ranger, you're running around with an assault rifle just as you are in many other third-person shooter games. So, to me, it is a shooter. However, you're not controlling the character, you're controlling the cursor in the middle of the screen. There's a white dot in the middle of the screen or a white little circle, depending on whatever. And if you just focus on that dot, that's all you're moving. You're moving the camera around, and it's like it could work as a first-person game, because that dot stays fixated in the middle.
Yeah, that's like the anchor point. It's hard to express what you want about.
The anchor point is the dot, not the character. The character just sort of animates around where you take it, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to The Division or Ghost Recon Wildlands or these sort of Ubisoft third-person shooters, where the character is what you're directing. So you can move the character is more sort of central in the screen, and the character is more independent of the camera, so you could sort of rotate the character, but the camera still, and it makes such a huge difference to me, because just the experience of playing it. I don't feel like I'm in control of this suit. I feel like the suit is just
being controlled by this dot,
following around the dot,
like a cat
chasing
with a laser pointer.
Yeah. Someone else might know what I'm talking about here.
It makes sense what you're on about, but you have to play it because what you're saying sounds absurd if you haven't played it. Because of course you control the thing in the middle on a third-person screen, you idiot. But when you play The Division,
I'm braced for a lot of people calling me a moron here, but I know what I'm talking about.
Even if you don't agree with it, just call them one for fun, innit? But just
that's what Jake does.
You do feel the difference. It's about feeling the difference. Like it feels like kind of floaty how you move around. And I'm playing a character that literally does float,
and that's what it is. That's what it is, though. Because when your guns, when you haven't got your weapons out, and you're just sort of roaming around, you're still just moving around this fixed dot thing, and then the character follows you around.
No, it does make total sense.
If you jump straight from that to The Division, you'll get a good chance of seeing what I mean.
Feel the difference.
Yeah. And that just sort of, it just doesn't feel good to play. And then when people, and the basic thing of people saying, well, it's better than Destiny at doing this, it's better than Destiny at doing that. For me, every time you pull the trigger in Destiny, it's like an unbelievable shot of dopamine to the brain, right? Every time you land a headshot, it feels amazing. You're at like 100% every time, right?
Yeah.
And there isn't that in the Anthem, apart from maybe the flying. The flying is pretty cool. And it just doesn't have that raw, like, addictive
Rockstar energy drink
dopamine shot of dopamine that headshotting stuff in Destiny is.
Right.
So that's the complicated take on Anthem. Before we move on to another sort of big topic, which is Overkill's The Walking Dead, and what's happened there, or lack thereof. Let's read some emails. Dear Special Moves, this is from Xena Janeway. Dear Special Moves, love the channel. I came across this article, link which we'll leave in the description for you, about a study done in Florida involving 300 surgeons. They had half of the surgeons play a variety of video games, including various versions of Sega's Super Monkey Ball franchise on both Nintendo's GameCube and Wii prior to the simulated surgery. The other surgeons did not. The surgeons who had played video games made 37% fewer errors. They were 27% faster and scored 26% better overall than surgeons who never played video games. This is great ammunition for kids to use against their parents and teachers who say that playing video games is a waste of time. Lots of love, Xena. Thank you, Xena, for that great email. So
it sounds like something the kids made up. Like,
it makes you good at. I'm going to be a surgeon.
What's the kid's Stephen? Yeah, of course, Stephen. Stephen, get off Super Monkey Ball. No, Mum. Actually, it makes doctors better. Doctors. At first, when you said there was a study with 300 surgeons, I was thinking, did they jump off a plane? I thought that's why Liam was laughing. That's why I was like, has he thought about it as well? Armed only with scalpels. Interesting, I suppose. Super Monkey Ball.
Is a classic.
It is a classic.
Precise movement, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. I was thinking it's not the first thing that would spring to mind, really, when I think of a game that would require that sort of thing. I don't know what I would think, to be honest.
I feel like they probably would have done a lot of research to try and find something that required like precise positioning and you know, like tilting things and adjusting things so that they're just right. And
I'm really looking forward to putting some Super Monkey Ball footage over this, just for anyone who might not know what Super Monkey Ball is, because it sounds like it's going to be nuts, right? It's called Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah.
It is. Have a look
Classic.
at this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you're listening on the audio version, but it's basically some monkeys in these giant Zorb things.
Yeah.
I don't know if Zorb's a brand, so, you know, other giant balls are available.
Don't want to tread on any.
And yeah, there's a lot of sort of puzzly challenges. It's interesting. So it is going to make you a better surgeon as well.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a great email because we'll put a link in the description if you want to read the article.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of them other other things to bring up if anyone is saying that's what Zena's saying anyway. That if anyone's giving you shit for playing games and you're a kid,
tell them about this game where there's monkeys and balls and they make surgeons.
Yeah,
better
trust
surgeons.
me. Yeah,
they'll believe you every time.
Yeah, exactly. Bulletproof. It is interesting though. I think the whole thing of simulating stuff and that. You know, it shows that it obviously works then. If there's 300 surgeons, there's quite a lot of surgeons, I guess. But
have you seen there's an army advert on TV at the minute here in the UK of like a guy sat in his room alone playing games, and then they're saying it's like, if you play games, that's good. Join the army.
Yeah.
you
can't respawn.
It's happened. Yeah. It's happened.
Yeah, exactly.
So even the army are jumping on this. Playing games makes you better, like quicker reaction times.
Finally
and stuff
happened.
Like that.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that. Join the army. Join the army.
I don't know why it just sprang to mind because it was like similar, like they're saying games make you better physically, like quicker reactions and all that, more precision. And then I saw an advert about
the real kill leader.
Yeah.
The army literally doing this exact thing, saying join the army if you play games.
Jeez. Yeah, well,
the army cottoning on to the idea that it's easy to recruit gamers to do stuff. I think that's quite worrying actually. I think it's quite worrying that they've left it since like COD, since like Modern Warfare, and they've gone right. No, let's not move just yet.
No.
Give it 10 years. Yeah. Give it some time to ruminate and develop, and then we'll start recruiting.
If I remember, they play up like endurance, like because people sit up playing games like 8 hours straight. Apparently, that's a good thing.
Oh dear.
It's a bit worrying, but. Sorry, I don't know why I brought that up.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, that's quite an alarming, not a study, but an advertisement. But unless you were a field surgeon, we could somehow mix it together. But yeah, so that's just one email you've just peppered in randomly in the middle of the thing.
Well, here's another one.
Oh right,
there's another one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's quite a few this week actually. There's really
good.
There's really good emails this week, so I want to give them a fair shake, sort of thing. So here's another email then. Dear Special Moves, looking forward to seeing you butcher my last name and possibly my name. This is from Manuel Granados Vargas.
Yeah,
give it a good run, mate. I'm from Mexico.
Yes,
been a follower since you were part of another team. Cough cough. Anyway, that's pretty good gaming. We used to be a part of. Manuel says, love the content. Even when I am not used to hour-long podcasts, I make an effort to listen to yours because I want to get you all that sweet clicky monies. Yeah. Cheers, Manuel. Appreciate that. I think a lot of people are saying that they're actually not into the sort of longer form stuff, but they still stick around anyway. That's nice, isn't it?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers. I already asked this question to Jake on Twitter, but he told me to ask here. So I will take personal offence if my email is not read.
Oh, did I?
This is what it says. It's quite intense now.
Okay.
Do you guys listen to music while playing some games? If so, which bands and genres for which kinds of games?
Oh, yeah. No, you did ask this. Yeah.
I find myself listening to death metal when I play Battle Royale games where I don't need to pay attention to the chat that's going on, and more of a rock, early heavy metal playlist when playing some RPGs where I don't actually need to be listening to the game music. I can imagine Liam probably thinks this is heresy. Mike probably listens to Oasis, which is the most hurtful thing anyone has ever said to me.
That is actually horrendous.
But Jake's music taste is on fire. Yeah, anyway, keep up the good work and I'll keep the clicks coming. Adios, amigos, de Gales, which is nice. That's Wales, I think, in other languages. Adios, amigos de Gales, which is nice. That's Wales, I think, in other languages. Adios, amigos de Gales, which is nice. That's Wales, I think, in other languages. Adios, amigos de Gales, which is nice. That's Wales, I think, in other languages.
Oh, is it? So goodbye Welsh friends.
Wales, but with a G at the beginning.
Love a bit of Mexico, man.
Yeah, like French and
ace,
stuff. Yeah. Nice one, Manuel. Thanks for that. Thanks for saying that. I probably listen to Oasis. I'm just going to go and headbutt a wall.
Yeah.
I think that's quite wrong because it's heresy to me to listen to music because I don't like listening to I don't like listening to other music when there's a nice soundtrack and stuff. Music's part of the deal, man. I listen to game soundtracks when I'm not playing games, so I like in-game music a lot. Liam listens to podcasts, as you've just heard.
I do. But I do listen to, depending on the game, it's usually racing games, because they usually have like a set track list.
Yeah.
I get sick of that quite quickly. So like with Forza Horizon 4, I got bored of the in-game radio stations, so I, just put Spotify on at the same time.
Yeah.
Made my own Forza playlist, and it was great.
That's a good thing about Spotify, because there's probably like very many
music
other
streaming
services. Yes.
Yeah,
I think we're only on Spotify, aren't we? Oh no, we're on iTunes as well.
Yeah.
Spotify's integrated with the PlayStation 4.
And PlayStation Music, as it's called.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And so there's probably like specific playlists for like playing racing games. Like people have made playlists. For all
there is
sorts
actually.
of shit.
It's like quite popular. Like
synthwave playlists with Forza, amazing.
If you go onto like Explore, there's like. There is like pre-made genres on the homepage on Spotify, and one of them is gaming, and then there's like specific genres, but they are like a bit weird. Like they're pretty much all dubstep.
I was gonna say.
I listen to games. I listen to music when I'm playing certain games. Yeah, like Rocket League or something like that. Like I don't really play Rocket League anymore, but when it came out in 2015 or whatever, I used to play it a lot, and I used to listen to music.
Really like a flat, nondescript soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. Video game music.
No offense to whoever composed it, I'm sure there's
No, I think they used a lot of licensed songs as well, didn't they? And when it's stuff like that, it's like, why am I listening to someone curate what I'm listening to? It's music I don't like, so I listen to whatever. But I don't listen to this, obviously, like Manuel's saying, he listens to specific music, which I found pretty weird then, because I'm pretty sure he said he listens to death metal when he needs for Battle Royale, but games he doesn't have to listen, he listens to early heavy metal. Is it like death metal's like less disruptive than what?
I suppose it gets you hyped up though, doesn't it? Gets you ready for battle.
Yeah, ready to rumble. Yeah, that's it. And it's the thing, you couldn't listen to trap, could you? Because there's a lot of gunshot sounds that throw you off.
Yeah, true.
But I don't know. So you're like, you've got to pay attention.
Who the fuck was that? Oh,
yeah. So
who the fuck was that? Every time.
Yeah. What? I think you've got a disgruntled teammate. Well, I've got the subtitles on Apex Legends now. That and the ping system means I don't have to have the sound on at all. So I might hop that. I know, beautiful. But to me, soundtracks are really good, especially if it's like, I don't know, these indie retro things. Shovel Knight soundtrack, the Messenger soundtrack.
Games have got great music in them. And
some of them. A lot of them just have atmospheric clanks now. And that's it. A lot of quiet stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But then maybe silence is part of it then. If that's
and that's what I mean. A lot of it's about like atmosphere, and they've worked on like Resident Evil 2, for example, right? Yeah. Soundtrack for that. There's a couple of bits, but it's mostly just like water dripping and zombies and stuff like that. Whereas a lot of games I play are like that. You've got like Bloodborne as well, and Dark Souls. When they go off. They got like orchestras and like choirs and that.
It's usually silent. You walk through the mist, and then you just hit.
Yeah, but I think it's amazing anyway. Like if you just listen to ambient like Yarnum.
Yeah,
it's amazing. You hear like the fucking maddest shit. Like
this is what I'm on. Yeah, like
some Foley people have just been like chucking all sorts of shit.
It's all Foley these days. So, and because I guess a lot of us are constantly playing new games.
Yeah.
You want to talk? If I can talk about like the Messenger, the soundtrack is amazing. I bring that up a lot because it is. Yeah, if I was listening to Spotify, I wouldn't have known that. So if I was playing the same game over and over again like Rocket League, I'd probably listen to a lot more Spotify.
I mean, put it this way: none of us are like managing our teams on FIFA Ultimate Team or anything like that, where you might be listening to like
Junior,
doing that all the time, and
listening
to music. Like we're not in that like realm really.
No.
Apex Legends is probably the only thing that we're playing.
Yeah.
And
that soundtrack's good as well.
And it's fun. It's good. Yeah, and I want to hear what's going on there, so I can't listen to death metal when I'm playing battle royale games. That's for sure. And I fucking hate Oasis. Right, Overkill. It's not Overkill's The Walking Dead.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
This is very interesting, and it sort of makes me. It's like biting a lemon a little bit. I don't know what it is about it, but just having something cancelled.
Yeah,
because the quality wasn't up there, and just knowing that loads of people had been working on it.
Yeah, and a lot of people would have been excited. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know,
it's never a good story to report on, is it? To be honest,
no.
But report on. We're just reading a fucking headline.
Breaking news, everyone.
Yeah. To me, yeah. Overkill's The Walking Dead. Can we just call it Walking Dead for now on? Everyone's going to know what we're on about. We're not on about the Telltale one, yeah. So, Walking Dead game is Overkill. The people that did Payday, right?
Yeah. Payday 2.
The Heist. Mm-hmm. That's quite a popular game, I think, on Steam, isn't it? Like, I think it's always in like, the top 20 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this is like their next game. And what's happened to it, Mike?
It's gone. It ain't happening anymore.
And it's not coming back like the Undead. It's
so
like
Skybound, the people who sort of own the license, the rights
holders, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They have said that this game wasn't up to par. That's literally what they say. Did not meet. This is from the quote that they put.
Yeah.
Overkill's The Walking Dead did not meet our standards, nor is it the quality that we were promised.
And this is, bear in mind, this is what they're saying publicly, right, as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not like they've kind of had a quiet word with them and then just gone like, look, take it down and we'll do a statement. Like they must be quite cross because they're saying publicly, yo, this is whack.
Yeah, and the license has been revoked from the publisher, Starbreeze.
Mm-hmm. Starbreeze having a rough time at the minute as well.
Yeah.
It's something unusual, but this power that rights holders have, I don't think I've seen used before.
No, certainly quite an unusual story to my ears.
It's like if Disney suddenly go to EA and go, right, no more Star Wars for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would cause an uproar
obviously on a
YouTube
much smaller
comments.
scale.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, that's what people signed petitions for, right? For EA to have the rights stripped, by people. I mean, just
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying. I didn't know that the power to do that with a product that's already out, just full on take it down. When you see like Lidl and that taking down like certain products because they're defective.
Curry sauces and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they just take it from shelves. That's what's happened.
Recalled,
it has been recalled, and it's just it's like a whole sort of symphony of stuff. It wasn't just that it had one really big problem. It looked gash. It was played really bad.
Mm-hmm. So it plays like Payday 2 The Heist and Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, except not as even. There's no refinement there. It's just like a lackluster.
Yeah. Just for those that don't know what it is, because a lot of people probably wouldn't have heard of it, right? Because if you say to somebody The Walking Dead game, they're going to think of the Telltale one, right?
Yeah.
But so it plays like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead, but like you're saying,
as far as I understand, yeah. But it was meant to come to PS4 and Xbox as well, but it obviously it's never going to make it now. It had come out on PC and sort of early access
very
type
muted
thing.
reaction.
Yeah, and it's it's gone from Steam, and the license is hereby revoked, which is an unusual story. To be honest, like I'm very much over The Walking Dead, so I didn't even this just didn't cross my radar at all. But the fact that it's been removed from the publisher has lost the license. Imagine this is what people are saying. Oh, Disney, take the Star Wars license away from EA. This is what has happened to Starbreeze, but with Walking Dead.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I didn't know it could even be done.
So it's sort of that thing that people have been clamoring for with EA to take the Star Wars license off them and get rid of the exclusivity deal and stuff. That's what's happened here, and I think Skybound is sort of tied in with Robert Kirkman.
I think he's like a founder of the company.
Yeah, so this isn't just
Robert Kirkman, the founder of The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
those
guy who
created
the original comic.
Yeah,
that's it.
So he's this isn't just like some holding company, and he's just like left it for them to figure out.
He's in the fray, isn't he?
Yeah. So it is conceivable that he's gone, this is shit. I'm not happy with this.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to damage the brand or anything.
Yeah, the really high quality bar that's been set by the Walking Dead TV shows and
it's one of the biggest in the world still, though, isn't it? But it's weird that what they've done is they've made a Left 4 Dead game, kind of Left 4 Dead style game with zombies, like Left 4 Dead, but these are licensed zombies, and now the license has been taken away. So first of all, I played Payday 2 The Heist a long time ago. Maybe, God, don't know, when did it come out? 2013?
It was a while ago.
It was something like that. Maybe 2012 or something like that. It was around a time. I was playing it on like a 550 or something, so do you know what I mean? It was a long time ago.
The graphics card.
Yeah. So, I remember not really enjoying it all too much, but then when we talk about Steam and stuff like that, remember Christmas, and I think it was just a couple of podcasts ago we were talking about Steam awards and stuff. I always see Payday 2 quietly in the top 10. Every time I saw a screenshot of PUBG at the top, you'd always notice just there lurking Payday 2. Yeah. So I thought it was a phenomenon, like Dota, or CS:GO. You don't see many of them in the wild, but you know that they're all in their own little place playing it. So when they made a new game and it was zombies, I thought it was going to be big. And the CGI trailers that they put out are spectacular. Have you seen any of them? I don't know if you guys would have.
Yeah, no. I saw them.
They were really high quality. Yeah. Really, the budget for them must be insane. I'll put one on now. But it's like that compared to when you look at what the game is quite different. And to see it just pulled like that, I guess they must have just saw it as, even though the game's out, it was before it went out on PlayStation and Xbox, because any criticism to that is further criticism to The Walking Dead. Like you were saying earlier about the brand having a name, it was the biggest show in the world, and it's kind of going down a bit. So maybe this is kind of that damage control. I know. But
I think it was kind of going down a bit.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I know. But you know what I mean? They might be in damage control mode now, and they don't want, they're trying to, I don't know what they're doing, to be honest. I don't know anything about it. Yeah. I haven't watched it in about 4 years.
But that's why we're talking about it. Is when has this happened, really? If anyone can think of any examples in the comments, please let us know. Of an occasion where an IP owner has gone to a publisher and said that this is, but we're not happy with this at all, to the extent that we're going to revoke the IP, the license from your hands, because we don't trust that you've done a good enough job. This isn't as good as what you promised us, which is the actual words that they said. We were promised it would be, so good, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
The sales haven't been electrifying. It's apparently roughly $3.5 to $4 million US that it's made, and so far development has exceeded revenue, so they've spent more on developing it than they've actually earned from it, which is probably not a huge surprise, I guess. If it's in that sort of situation where the license has been revoked, then things must be bad, in a business sense as well. They're not making enough money off it. Just a mad situation, man. I think it's a shame if you're a Walking Dead fan, certainly a shame if you're a part of the development team and stuff. I feel because there's obviously talented people involved in making these games and stuff, and if the CGI trailer and stuff was up there and stuff, and there was obviously potential, but
and like I say, if Skybound are saying that publicly, I can't imagine what the conversations they've been having behind closed doors are like.
Yeah, well, indeed, exactly. What are you can just imagine some fucking Skybound guy storming in, what the fuck is this mess? And if that's in their statement, what
this is the best they could have done to be nice. This is you can't give a bad reference.
Exactly. What's happened in the boardroom? So, so that is a crazy story that we just wanted to sort of talk about briefly. And then another nicer story from this week is Pokemon Direct.
Oh yeah, this was a nice story, wasn't it?
It was a nice story. Little surprise Pokemon Direct, 7 minutes in length.
Coincidentally, on Pokemon Day.
Or maybe it's not a coincidence.
Please explain.
Pokemon Day is an actual thing, and it was when that Direct was.
What is Pokemon Day?
Because I think it was on that day 20 years ago was when Pokemon first came out. So Pokemon Day.
Okay.
National celebration of Pokemon
National
Day.
Pokemon Day. Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, fine.
So I don't think it was teased that far in advance. I feel like it was only a couple of weeks ago we were talking about the Link's Awakening reveal at the last Direct.
Yeah.
It was literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then they done another Direct. Didn't they? And so it was 7 minutes, so I was truly expecting I don't know, 5 minutes of Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go 2.
And then maybe just
But that's not all.
Yeah, exactly. And then a click of the finger.
Yeah.
And then the 2 logos come up and then saying coming soon. But no, they just got straight down to business. They were like, here's what we got.
Yeah. Which is Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, which had a trailer. Mm-hmm. And some details about where there was a lot to see in the trailer as well. They give you a sense of the setting and stuff like that. And, I'm not a massive Pokemon fan. I mean, but I am in nostalgic terms. I mean, I probably will play this, but
Yeah.
If you there are people who just fucking love Pokemon, don't they? They just fucking live for this shit, and I'm very happy for them, Liam included.
Mm-hmm. I am one of those people.
I mean, you described this as the first sort of real Pokemon game, wouldn't you, for a while?
Well, I mean, since Sun and Moon, which wasn't that long. Well, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So when was that?
That's a stretch, though, isn't it?
2 years ago?
No, because just Sun and Moon, that's the last proper one. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is just
they were like
the
expanded upon version.
That's what I mean. So Sun and Moon is the last proper one, isn't it? And then all others has just been a bit of this. Like Let's Go and
like
that.
Let's Go, which is
Pokemon Red
and
Blue.
Yeah. They described this one as a core RPG. That's how they describe it.
Yeah,
and it debuts the new generation of Pokemon.
Yeah,
that's the exciting thing,
of Pokemon.
right? So we got to see the starters. You know, but if you're not familiar with Pokemon games, I don't know what rock you've been living in. Not even under. Yeah. No, mate, because if you're under a rock, you're going to see a Diglett, aren't you?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Pokemon banter.
You've
glitched into a rock. That's the only way.
You're Patrick Star from SpongeBob. I think does he live under a rock or
he
in
lives
a rock?
under it.
He lives
a
under
starfish,
it,
So not even he lives in a rock.
No.
What am I on about? Anyway,
if you live in the rock, you're going to see a Geodude.
You are a Geodude. Maybe
Geodude.
Fucking... Right, so listen. Pokemon. The next gen. I think this will be a smash. I think it'll be massive. Honestly, I think people underestimate it every single time it comes out. People just forget that the torch gets passed on. I've seen a lot of people sort of complaining about it online. A lot of adult men complaining about it online. That it's...
What they want is beards. Manly men.
No. What they want is they want it to be challenging. They don't want it to go back to random encounters because it's, just a step back and stuff. They're forgetting that this game's about just joy for all and to let children and that play it, yeah? Remember when you were a kid and you played Pokemon Red? Imagine if loads of men decided, who don't know anything about game development, decided what's fun and what's not. It probably wouldn't be as good. So I'm looking forward to this because I'm looking forward to playing it with my daughter, who liked Pokemon Let's Go, but Let's Go for me was just reliving my childhood and kind of going, oh yeah, this is that again. But I want a new world to explore. I want a new... do you know what I mean? I want to explore a new world. And I
sounded an awful lot like them men there for a minute.
No, but I've just done it before, haven't I? So it's not like fresh or new, right? It's just reliving something with a fresh coat of paint. But I want this, but I don't want to have to get a handheld exclusive console. I'd like to play it on the Switch, which is handheld, but also it's a home console, right? Mm-hmm. I want to play it in HD. I want to play it in a region I've never seen before. Kanto's okay, mate, but there's only so many times I can go on the SSN before I start.
I mean,
do you know what I mean?
Bottom line, they get loads of mileage out of this. Will be fucking remade a million times now, won't it? It'll be
Ultra
improved,
sword, sharpened sword, and bigger shield.
There were some people who genuinely were like calling on Diamond and Pearl to be remade instead of a new gen.
Right.
This is what I mean. They're pushing it forward.
That was a DS one.
So I guess the takeaway from this is like the real summary, if you like, you just kind of like lukewarm on Pokemon, is basically there's a new generation of Pokemon. You've got 3 new starters. One's a fire rabbit. One's some sort of like monkey.
Grookey.
Grookey's
like a Scorbunny, and Sobble.
And then Sobble's like the best one. It's like
the Pokemon, the biggest Pokemon fan on the table.
Yeah, and then there's Sobble, the water lizard thing. And then you're in this place called like...
The Galar region.
The Galar region. I keep saying Gandahar, but Gandahar's the bad guy from Two Worlds, right? So I don't know where the hell that's come from. So you're there, which is like basically Britain, isn't it?
I don't know if it's the Galar or Galar. I don't know.
Yeah, but the Galar region, the
Sounds
Galar
like a
region.
province in Afghanistan.
Well, it's actually just like...
But it's based
England.
on the UK.
Yeah, basically. It's this general shape of it, of England anyway. And it's just, the new generation of Pokemon. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they're going to do gameplay-wise. It doesn't look like it's going to be like Let's Go. Mm-hmm. It looks a little bit different. There's like different camera angles and stuff. I know that sounds weird.
Let's Go itself was a bit sort of... Yeah, I mean, there was believe it or not, controversy about the fact that you just sort of caught them as opposed to battled with them, right?
Yeah.
So would they risk putting that in a main new game?
They've always said this next one was going to be like classic Pokemon. Right. So random encounters, battle Pokemon to catch them, trainer battles, gym battles, Elite Four. And they were saying that ever since Let's Go was announced, but there were some people who were a bit scared that because of how successful Let's Go was in the sales, that was going to be like the future of the series. But they've always maintained from the start that they were making a core RPG as well as Pokemon Let's Go.
And now people are complaining because they like the bit in Let's Go where you can see the Pokemon in the wild and you'd walk into them to get them. But now it's just random, so you can't see what you're about to battle. So, they're trying to get it both ways. It doesn't really matter. But what does matter is that the game's coming out this year on the Switch.
Yeah.
And
they just said 2019. Late. Yeah. I think late 2019.
It'll probably be October. Yeah. That's always when Pokemon releases, around October time.
Okay.
It'll probably be their biggest Christmas game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Very much doubt they're going to do something bigger than this.
Oh, this is the one.
When
did Smash come out again?
December.
So that was right near the end.
Late, beginning of December.
And I can't remember what they had. They had another big game just before it, didn't they? And I can't remember what it was. Was it like October? Was that right?
Or was that not Let's Go?
Let's Go was November, wasn't it?
Let's Go November. Yeah, that's it.
So big Pokemon news, big Nintendo news. They're just batting these things out, and I love the fact that they bothered to do a little direct thing to edit it together a little video.
News, isn't it? A whole new generation. The free Pokemon that we did see look.
But they didn't even make that part of the one that they just had, the Nintendo Direct that they just had. Yeah. They gave it its own one. So
that's how big Pokemon is. It warrants its own Direct. Yeah. Even if it's only 7 minutes long.
It's gonna do big, this man.
Yeah.
Big numbers.
Big Pokemon news and big predictions from Special Moves there. So let's read a couple more emails before we do the new releases for the week. This one is from Chris, aka Chimpo. So Chimpo's name is Chris. Chimpo's a long-time listener and viewer. Good to know your name now, Chris.
You said that in such a way, like you are really doing a bombshell then. Like the law's been revealed now. Like listeners of the channel...
Because for almost... Well, for about 2 years, I've just gone Chimpo.
And now you're happy
and now
to say...
I know his name is Chris. Or her name. Chris can be a girl
terms now.
So,
yeah.
Dear
Special
Special
Moves. From Chris.
Thanks, Jake. Dear Special Moves, my name is Chris.
Thank you. Goodbye.
I lived in England until I was 13, before moving to Auckland in New Zealand, almost as far away from North Wales as it gets. So it's pretty cool. I always love finding out where people live, because when it's that far away.
And his name, you're loving it. Go on.
I'm one of those what has a steering wheel on their PC, and I love me some sim racing. I was looking forward to Dirt Rally 2.0 very much, and was disappointed to learn that it did not support VR. So disappointed that I decided not to buy it. I know you guys aren't much into VR, but for sim racing, VR is the best thing since bolting a steering wheel to your desk. I think it's important. I think it's improved Sims so much that it is now essential. No VR support in a sim is as sinful as no mouse and keyboard support for an RTS game. Regards from New Zealand, Chris, aka Chimpo. Nice one, Chris.
That's like the prequel that no one needed, but some people are happy with it.
I think that's a really interesting point. Like being a not being a racing fan at all, I definitely appreciate the point that if he says VR is so good for car racing that not having it is like you might as well, why bother sort of thing, because it adds so much to the experience. And people, this is like a gaming subculture in itself, isn't it? Like people having like pedals and like a racing setup for their racing games.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if you've got a thing that makes you basically feel like you're putting a race car helmet on your head, except you're
absolutely,
and then puts you in a game.
Sure. That's true though. You got that weight on your head, just like if you'd have a helmet on.
You can check your blind spots in real time and everything.
Yeah, absolutely, and it works. It totally works because you are just sitting down and moving your head around. You're not.
Pretending you're having to, you're not walking in a virtual world and sitting down in real life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not having to imagine that you're roaming around, a dungeon like Skyrim or something like that. Mm-hmm. You are just sat down, and so you don't have to worry about the immersion quality of it. So I totally get the point here, and I think that is something that race car sort of sim developers will have to learn to realize really quickly. Like how can you?
Maybe just like most of this, like farming sim. Or a flying simulator can benefit as well. Do you know what I mean? Combine harvester as well.
That'd be really good, actually.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. Yeah, all sims, because this is the thing. Don't call them games, innit? They're sims.
Yeah,
it's one of them. And VR is a passionate sort of segment of the games industry, as much as, like you say, in these racing.
It's a niche, isn't it? Like, that's for sure. But I mean, and then racing within that niche is its own. This
is the story of a man who has seen heaven in VR, and now he can't go back. And unfortunately, he's struggling to deal with what is now something that he loved for years is now pathetic to him.
Yeah.
He's like, look, what's the point anymore?
Yeah.
That's the heights VR's reached.
This is how I feel about the shooting in Destiny, right? If it's not as good as that, why am I shooting at all? Okay.
Yeah.
Apex Legends is the first game in a long time that's come anywhere close, apart from Titanfall 2.
It's kind of ruined it for him, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think VR support is. I saw a thing this week about that PlayStation are still really behind this now. They don't want people.
You mean they're still supporting it?
Yeah, and then they still think it's the future. Like,
yeah.
They want to bring it into the PS5 in a big way. Literally before I came here, I was having a conversation with friend of the channel, you know who he is, about VR because he's only just played PSVR for the first time, Cale Hamilton, and he's so that's what I was doing before I was here. I was having a conversation with him about it, and it's so weirdly having a very fresh conversation with somebody who for the first time experienced VR reminds me of the first time I saw VR, and my brother's got he sold it now, like most people have VR actually. Vibe, and it's ace. It is really, really good. But I think we need more games that make sense, not just tech demos. And that sounds like, it sounds
this
logical.
Makes so much sense.
Exactly. It's a no-brainer. And I don't know. I think that the driving games of I don't think it would have Wipeout in VR. You just feel sick. Mm-hmm. You feel proper.
I'd be willing to give it a go though.
What Roll Cage? What's that one?
Oh, no.
You'd feel sick. And
well, Wipeout's got like the track rolls, so the ship doesn't roll so much.
Yeah.
But the track would like send you upside down and shit like that. I'd fucking.
That would be like a roller coaster though, wouldn't it? Like big time.
I'd give that a go. Go on then.
Oh, I was going to say, I think Elite Dangerous, a spaceship game,
yeah.
that's got VR support, and people love it. Because again, you just
really
sit in like a spaceship,
yeah.
You've got that cockpit view, and it makes a lot of sense that.
Yeah, I think that does that not? So you've still got mouse and keyboard, right? So you're still,
you can use a flight stick and everything on.
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah.
I actually, do you know what the most immersive game I played, which made too much sense
in VR?
Yeah, this is really weird, and I don't know how he set it up, but. I don't know. Dan, if you're listening, can you just tell everyone how you did this? The Dolphin emulator, the GameCube emulator, Metroid Prime in VR is crazy. I don't know how it works, because obviously they couldn't have put it in there. Yeah. But like the cinematic at the beginning when it's the giant ship, I don't know if you can remember the very beginning of Metroid Prime, you're on that big, giant ship for most of it, but you're on a giant spaceship. And it's in VR, and space is enormous. Even in VR, and it works so much, and I don't know. Like after playing that, I was like, I don't want to play Metroid Prime again without that.
Yeah,
and that's a GameCube game.
Yeah.
So imagine what it's like on these modern games, these newfangled games.
It's a really interesting point. I mean, having that feature there before and enjoying it, and then a new game coming along and not supporting it. And this isn't like fucking HDR or some shit where it looks great but the fundamental experience is the same. This changes the experience.
It's a game changer.
It's right. One more email then. This one is from Blake Walden, who says he's a week 1 patron. Of course he is, Blake. Read your name out loads, I think, so far. Blake says, Dear Special Moves, greetings lads.
Hello.
Hope you're all doing well and enjoying some cold weather while we burn to death in Australia.
A lot of the Australasians representing at the moment.
Yeah.
Nice one, guys.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on emulation and games preservation. Recently, MC Profit, a fellow YouTuber who focuses mostly on discourse and niche games, produced a video talking about games preservation and the effect emulation has had on this. In his video, he states that 75% of silent films have been lost to time due to degradation of the original film rolls. This means that many huge hits will literally never be seen again, even though there are people alive today who saw it in cinemas. Personally, I think that emulation needs to be considered by governments as an act of preservation, and the legality around it needs to be cleared up. I would love to see an initiative where once a console is retired and its commercial viability is unsustainable, its games be added to a readily accessible database owned by the government in cooperation with the developers and publishers that operate like a library and museum that allows individuals to browse a catalogue and for a small fee rent those games indefinitely. There's a bit more, but I think the general point. I think there are definitely many different operations now that are doing this, independent and
there
stuff.
are.
There's a National Video Game Museum in the UK that's fully armed and operational, like the Death Star now, and it is a thing that people are worrying about and thinking about. So I don't think it needs any like sudden sort of let's clear this stuff up, because I think people are trying to do it. There's a lot of different
but not government backed, which is like what other things are. Like I can't remember what it's called, but if something is deemed of national cultural relevance, the government help to do it. So like, so for example, like the first 3 Bob Dylan albums, they have been preserved forever now because of that. I think is it archive.com is that I don't know if that's, I think it was at one point to do with the government,
right?
And that is like, so like H.P. Lovecraft, right? All of his stuff's been preserved on archive.org, and they step in and they make it readily available in anything. You can download it on Kindle or whatever. But what happens is, like, if it's deemed of certain amount of cultural importance, it can either get funded.
Yep.
So, like, if you are like this National Video Game Museum, you could get government money to help fund it if something is deemed important enough to history. The thing about video games is there's so many of them. So, like, I don't know, let's say N64 went out now. Getting all the games would be a hugely expensive task, especially like
because some of them have rocketed in value, haven't they? Of course, like a lot of them, when you think about it, across the different platforms, the different generations. There's a lot of games that are worth £200-300 or whatever on eBay now, because they're so rare and stuff. So that, you'd have to put a lot of money and resources and time into getting and gathering them all.
There's
if you're going to do it properly.
Couple of cool documentaries on YouTube about this, because there's one thing that I only learned about recently. Do you know, like discs and that they can rot? It's called disc rot. Didn't even know that. You take it for granted, don't you?
Disc rot.
Disc rot, yeah.
Cool.
The S, it's important there. So the old disc rot. So because people will have a PS1 game, they'll preserve it or whatever, get it in a bit of sun. 20 years later, it'll completely erode. Like, it's mad to think, because when CDs were quite...
Put anything in the sun for 20 years, then. It's probably...
No. Put it in the sun and then take it out, I mean.
Right.
That's what I mean. It only needs to be exposed to sun for like 10 minutes.
When you...
And then over those 20 years, whatever it was that got into the sun, it got in from the sun.
You just open it, it's just like a puff of just smoke.
That's real. I didn't know, though, because obviously CDs haven't been around for that long, have they?
It's now a gas.
No. They're now doing it, though. So this is it. So even a physical copy, isn't safe. This is what I'm saying, right?
Be afraid, people.
Your PS1 games on your shelf could be suffering from disc rot. So emulation as a means of preservation is how a lot of people, especially in America, are choosing to preserve not physical copies because of disc rot.
Yeah.
This is what I was trying to say. So making a virtual version of it and uploading it to something like archive.org.
And then that's when the email here sort of comes into its own, in it. Like, you've got to legislate for that sort of freeware, abandonware sort of, how long, like Creative Commons, it's like, what is it, 50 years or something like that until something enters Creative Commons.
Yeah.
What are we pointing at here?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot this is audio as well. But just out of shot, maybe you'll be able to see it on the camera. There's a copy of GoldenEye on the 64.
Yeah.
So
or is it might have dissolved?
No, so let's talk about it. So GoldenEye, it's licensed to Rare, for Nintendo, by whoever has the rights to the James Bond series,
Yeah.
So who and how many hoops do we need to jump through to get this on archive.org and preserve it and send it to everybody? We need to check with the Broccoli family, who are in charge of like James Bond and that. We've got to speak to Rare, we've got to speak to Nintendo. All of them have to agree. There's 3 points of failure there, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? 4 points if it's rotted. But I mean, when we start talking to, like, I don't know, Warner Bros and stuff like that, or maybe it's come down to one decision maker within the company who might have retired and, let's face it, could have even died because it's been years and years, especially like Amiga games.
There's another problem now as well in the fact that gaming is now a cottage industry, and there's just uncountable amounts of indie developers making uncountable amounts of indie games. And if you wanted to preserve them, that's potentially less obstacles. But so if you wanted if you just looked at one game as its own case, there's a lot less stuff to worry about. You don't have to worry about the James Bond license and shit. But there's so many cases. There's so many indie games coming out every single year that, in 30, 40 years' time, it's going to be difficult to even begin to start wading into that and preserving all that sort of stuff. So, it's an absolutely massive issue. Mm-hmm. I think the one sort of flip side is, I really appreciate the fact that there are people who are working to make sure that games can still be accessed, but I do kind of like it when something is a bit like mythical, there's only a few cartridges of something left, or there's only
Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle-earth 2.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, but that's
again, I can see it right
here.
Yeah,
it's that's such a that's not anything. That's
even
quite
recent memory. PT,
exactly.
We were talking
about it,
yeah, in the car on the way here.
So that's kind of
PS4 is like a mythical item now because it's got PT installed.
Exactly. It's kind of PT is kind of on one level it's a kind of crime that Konami won't let anyone play it anymore. Yeah. Even though, what harm does it do? No harm at all, apart from make people want the game to exist.
Because remember, it costs no money.
Yeah, it was a free demo.
Exactly. Yeah.
Playable trailer, playable teaser, whatever it's called.
And you can't play it unless you have a PS4 until they make a PS4 emulator or something.
Right. So PT, Battle for Middle-earth 2. I have really fond memories. It's one of the first RTS games I ever played. There's this game called Knights and Merchants. Mm-hmm. I bet you no one listening's played it. If you have, my God, that's going to be like the maddest one for me. So Knights and Merchants.
I'm sure you've mentioned this before,
I probably have. It's up there with Tibia and like the weird things that...
You've definitely told us about it, but I'm sure you've mentioned it.
Yeah, absolutely. So my question is, and this will be, the older you are, the better the chances of you being able to do this. Is there a game that you can remember playing and enjoying that you just can't find anymore? You can't get your hands on it? Because it's only going to live on now through your memories of this game, isn't it? So you tell us. You put it in the comment section and then it'll live forever. But I want you to know, I want to know kind of, is it like the Amiga people or whatever? There might be some PS1 games that are hard to find. Yeah. I doubt it. But PC games, obscure, weird PC games, I can imagine. So let us know.
I wish I could walk into a Dixon's, right, from 2001 and just put my hands into that bin of like £5 PC games they had and scoop it all out, put it and just buy it all. Exactly. Because there's going to be like gems in there that you just,
Absolutely. So please, please, please let us know a game that you have really fond memories of, but you don't know if you can get your hands on it again. And that would be really cool. That's actually really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what people have got to say about that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have some shared memories. Like if we can find someone that's played the game that's lost to time and someone else has played it as well. It's gonna be great.
We can build some bridges. Dating. Yeah, maybe we can make some connections happen. Okay, so those were all the topics and the emails for this week. If you've got an email topic you want to raise, it's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. That's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. Send us an email. Tell us what you think about stuff. Show us some cool stuff. Give us some interesting links to studies with surgeons and shit like that. And we'll read it out and have a little chat about it. So let's do the new releases before we wrap up then. There's quite a few games coming out this week. I've picked 4. First up, we got Left Alive, which is out on the March the 5th, which is the Tuesday, on PC and PS4. It's been out in Japan for about a week already.
Days,
yeah. It's a Square Enix game set in the Front Mission universe, sort of a shooting thing. So that's coming out on Tuesday.
Give me the full backstory.
Yeah, I was actually telling Jake about this. Yeah. It's so Front Mission, if you don't know, is a strategy RPG with big mechs. And this is about as far as you can get from what people want from a Front Mission game. It's a stealth survival game with on-foot combat. No big mechs. Well, you can get into the mechs, but only rarely.
Is this the game that had like the guy from Metal Gear Solid doing the art for it?
Yeah.
That's quite nice, actually.
I remember they got the Metal Gear artist to do all the art.
It looks it, actually. If someone said this was a Metal Gear,
if you look at the front cover,
even
the gameplay, if you look at it, it looks like a Metal Gear knockoff. The gameplay.
Yeah. So that's out on Tuesday in the West.
In the West,
Same day is The Occupation on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. It's a stealth sort of investigation game in the immersive sim genre. We've got a video on this coming up, so we don't want to spoil too much. It's kind of like Dishonored. This is the pitch that the developers always give. It's like Dishonored, but without the killing, which is exactly what it is, actually.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's cool.
We'll talk more about that then, because we're not allowed to on embargo, right?
Indeed. And we've got Devil May Cry 5 on March the 8th. Everyone knows what Devil May Cry is. Come on, surely. It's on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. Liam,
yes.
Guaranteed you've pre-ordered this.
I didn't pre-order it, but I got it free with my graphics card.
Wow. You would have.
He would have, yeah.
All right.
I'm looking forward to this immensely. Devil May Cry is fantastic. And to have a new one come back, it's big.
What's the demo situation? Because there's 2, right?
You can play it on PS4 or Xbox.
Is there 2 demos?
There was.
Xbox.
It came out on Xbox, but the demo that's out now publicly for PS4 and Xbox is the exact same demo, just with a few added extras.
This will be 92 on Metacritic, I reckon, and I reckon it'll be like God of War. People will forget, and then they'll this will do a lot of week 1 sales. Day 1 will be the Devil May Cry fans, right? The peons won't know. It's like God of War, innit? God of War. Day 1, no one was that bothered.
I think it did sell quite
right.
Well,
But you know, like when it came out at E3,
what you're forgetting is that the God of War is a big man with a beard and a gruff voice, and that does go down really well. No, but
have you seen the sort of hypersexualized woman on this Devil May Cry thing? Well, she's about to be. Well, there we go. Exactly. Enough said. Which one?
Trish. Who's the character?
This woman with glasses. It looks like Lisa Ann. Yeah. Basically, it's going to be massive. Not because of that. Nothing to do with the men. Nothing to do with the women. It's just going to be one of these games that Liam and me were talking about in the car, and Liam said it best. People will look at it on Twitch and go, "Oh my god, I want a piece of that."
People are going to say...
Sorry, the gameplay.
The gameplay now. Forget Trish, forget Dante, all right?
No, I reckon, people will go on Twitch on like day 1, see streamers pulling off like insane combos and stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh, this looks good."
If I was to take a punt at what will win Game of the Year without playing it,
all right,
it'll be this.
Yeah, I mean, highly rated series, isn't it? And spectacular sort of combat and that. And I'm looking forward to playing it. I probably won't play it at launch, but I'm definitely going to play it.
And it's got an amazing theme song. Don't care what anyone says.
It certainly does, Liam. It certainly does.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Let's wrap up with Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, which is on 3DS the same day.
I like Kirby. I played Epic Yarn. It was on Wii U originally.
What's this? Extra Epic?
So it's just a port to the 3DS.
Oh, right, okay.
With some added levels. So Kirby's Epic Yarn was you played as Kirby as a literal yarn ball, and then on the Wii U gamepad he used a stylus and he drew like the path for him. So this is just about doing it on 3DS.
It was on DS, wasn't it? I'm sure it was
they had one on DS. Kirby in the rainbow paintbrush, I think.
Was tip of the tongue.
Another amazing soundtrack, by the way. Kirby.
Kirby games are always fun to play. They're always enjoyable.
So that is a whole podcast for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Plenty of topics there. Plenty of good emails, man. Good emails this week. There are a few that didn't make the cut because we just, we can't talk about. Otherwise, we end up talking about everything for like 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they won't get read out next week. There's plenty of good emails. So please send your emails into dearspecialmoves@gmail.com and we'll read them out in a future podcast. Opinions, topics, anything you want us to talk about, let us know. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, nice one. See you soon.